The church was quiet, almost too quiet, until the priest's words echoed, "Does anyone object?" All eyes were on the bride, my sister, and the groom, the man who was supposed to marry me. My heart pounded as I stood up, dressed in white, every step ringing louder than the last. Then I raised my hand and said, "I object." And when I handed the priest a small velvet box, my sister's face drained of color. She thought I'd show up in tears, but she never expected me to come armed with the truth. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted most, then you know the kind of rage that doesn't let you sleep. Stick around, because this story isn't just about betrayal. It's about taking your power back in the most unforgettable way. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments, what's the worst betrayal you've ever faced? My name is Seraphina, and I wish I could say I grew up with the kind of sister people dream of having. But the truth? Claire always wanted what I had. When we were kids, it was my toys. In high school, it was my friends. As adults, it became my entire future. Thomas was supposed to be mine. My fiancé. My safe place. We had the venue booked, the color palette picked, and even the playlist for the reception already finalized. For the first time in years, my life felt aligned. But Claire had that smile. That sharp, sly smile that said she wasn't just in the room, she was planning how to own it. Thomas always said she was funny, brushing off the little digs she made at my expense. I told myself not to worry. After all, he was marrying me, right? But lies have a way of surfacing. It started small. Thomas would text, "Working late, babe." But then Claire's Instagram would show her sipping cocktails, tagged at the exact bar Thomas swore he wasn't at. When I confronted her, she laughed, "Seraphina, you're paranoid. Not everything is about you." And I believed her. Because the alternative, that my sister was sneaking around with my fiancé, was too much to face. Until one night, I came face to face with the truth. It was raining, the kind of night where thunder rattles your bones. I had picked up takeout to surprise Thomas. My heart was light as I unlocked his door with the spare key. But the moment I stepped inside, I heard laughter, her laughter. Claire's. I followed the sound down the hall. My fingers trembled as I pushed open the bedroom door. And there they were. My sister. My fiancé. Entwined in bedsheets that should have been mine. The bag of takeout slipped from my hands, containers bursting open across the carpet. The smell of sesame chicken filled the air, mocking me, absurdly normal while my world shattered. Claire didn't even flinch. She just smirked and said, "Guess you found out." Thomas scrambled upright, stammering, "Seraphina, it's not what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like. I left without a word. My hand shook so badly I had to pull over 3 times before I could drive home. That night, I lay awake until dawn, betrayal pressing on my chest like a physical weight. And then, 1 week later, the final insult arrived. A thick, cream-colored envelope. Gold-embossed lettering. My sister's wedding invitation. Claire and Thomas. Inside, a note in her looping script. "Come see what true love looks like." My tears dried on the spot. My grief hardened into steel. She wanted me there? Fine. I would come. But not in the way she expected. The moment I read that note, "Come see what true love looks like," something inside me snapped. My tears dried up. My heartbreak turned into something sharper, colder. They thought I'd show up broken. But I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction. No. I was going to give them something they would never forget. For a few days, I shut myself off from the world. My phone buzzed with messages from mutual friends. "Are you okay? Did you hear they got engaged? You should just move on, Seraphina." Move on? How do you move on when the 2 people who should have loved you most, your fiancé and your sister, stab you in the back? But as I sat there in my quiet apartment, surrounded by the scraps of what was supposed to be my wedding planning, a thought hit me. Claire wanted me to be broken. She wanted me to sit in the pews at her wedding, sobbing into a tissue, while she paraded Thomas in front of me like a prize. Not this time. I started small. I boxed up every photo of me and Thomas, every keepsake, every reminder of the future they stole. But I didn't throw it away. No, I had a different use for it. Then, I dug deeper. Text messages. Screenshots. Receipts. The late-night excuses. The lies. Proof that what they were calling true love was nothing but betrayal built on deceit. But I needed more. Something unforgettable. Something that would make the whole room see them for who they really were. That's when I remembered the velvet box. It had been sitting in my drawer for months. A gift Thomas once tried to give me, a piece of jewelry meant for me, before Claire came along. At the time, I had shoved it away, unable to even look at it. But now? That box wasn't just jewelry. It was evidence. Inside was an engraved necklace. The inscription? Forever yours, Seraphina. It was supposed to be mine. And now, it was my weapon. The day of the wedding, I woke up before dawn. My heart was pounding, but not with grief anymore, with adrenaline. I opened my closet, and there it was, my white dress. Not the gown I had chosen for my wedding with Thomas, but a simple, elegant white dress I had bought for our engagement photo shoot. I slipped it on slowly, almost ceremoniously. If Claire wanted me to watch her in white, then she was going to have to share the spotlight. When I looked in the mirror, I didn't see a broken woman anymore. I saw something else. I saw someone dangerous. Someone ready. The church was decorated with roses, lace, and all the details Claire used to criticize me for loving. She had stolen even my taste. Guests filled the pews, whispering and smiling, oblivious to the storm that was about to hit. When I walked in, all eyes turned to me. A hush fell. Who wears white to someone else's wedding? Exactly the reaction I wanted. Claire's smug face faltered when she saw me. She whispered something to Thomas, and his jaw tightened. Good. Let them squirm. I sat silently through the ceremony, every nerve in my body buzzing like electricity. My hand clenched the velvet box inside my clutch. Finally, the priest's words rang out. If anyone here knows of any reason why these two should not be joined in holy matrimony, speak now or forever hold your peace. My pulse slowed. This was it. My moment. I rose from my seat, the sound of my heels echoing against the stone floor. The whisper started instantly. Claire's face drained of color. And in a voice that carried through the silence, I said, I object. The silence after my words stretched like glass about to shatter. Every pair of eyes in the church turned to me. Some looked horrified, others leaned forward, hungry for drama. Claire's knuckles whitened as she gripped her bouquet, her fake smile twitching. Thomas's jaw locked, his Adam's apple bobbing as he swallowed hard. The priest blinked, caught off guard. You object? I stepped forward, each heel click ricocheting through the church like a countdown. My dress shimmered under the stained glass light, and I could feel the weight of whispers crawling across my back. Yes, I said firmly, my voice steady even though my heart thundered in my chest. I object. A ripple went through the crowd. Claire's lips parted, outrage already bubbling. Seraphina, sit down. This is my day. I cut her off. Your day? Oh no, Claire. This is our day. Yours, mine, and his. I tilted my chin toward Thomas, whose face was turning a sickly shade of gray. Gasps rolled through the room like a wave. Then I reached into my clutch. My fingers brushed the velvet box, cold and smooth. For a heartbeat, I thought about everything that had led here, the late-night lies, the laughter in the dark, that smirk on Claire's face when she said, "Guess you found out." I pulled it out slowly and handed it to the priest. His brows furrowed as he opened the lid. Inside, nestled on satin, was the necklace. Silver. Gleaming. Engraved with words that echoed like a curse. Forever yours, Seraphina. The priest's eyes flicked up, confused. But the crowd? They understood instantly. A ripple of whispers turned into a storm. Claire's face went pale, her lips trembling. Where did you get that? I smiled coldly. Where do you think? He gave it to me. Months before you decided you were entitled to what wasn't yours. I turned to the guests, my voice sharp as a blade. This necklace was meant for me, the woman Thomas was supposed to marry. My sister stole my fiancé. And now she's parading him in front of you, pretending this is love. Murmurs rose. People glanced at one another, disgust flickering in their eyes. A couple in the front row shook their heads. Claire's best friend gasped audibly, covering her mouth. Thomas took a step forward, stammering. Seraphina, this isn't the place. I cut him down with a glare. Not the place? Then tell me, Thomas, when was the right place to betray me with my own sister? Was it in your bed, the night I brought dinner? Or when you texted me lies while sipping cocktails with her? The crowd erupted. Some gasped, others muttered angrily. Even the priest looked uncomfortable, clutching the necklace like it burned his hands. Claire dropped her bouquet, petals scattering across the floor like broken promises. She hissed at me, her voice sharp but shaking, "You just can't stand to see us happy, can you?" I laughed, a sound that surprised even me. It wasn't bitter. It was strong. Happy? Happiness built on betrayal isn't happiness, Claire. It's poison. And today, everyone here gets to see the truth. Thomas reached for Claire's hand, but she yanked it away. For the first time, cracks appeared in their united front. The golden couple they wanted to present was crumbling before their audience. And me? I stood tall and white, no longer the victim. The air in the church felt heavy, suffocating, as if everyone was holding their breath, waiting for what would happen next. Claire's face twisted, her perfect bridal makeup cracking under the weight of panic. She hissed at me like a cornered animal. "You're lying. This is all lies, she's just jealous." But the room didn't buy it. Not with the necklace still shining under the priest's trembling fingers. Not with the whispers growing louder, angrier. Thomas tried to regain control. He raised his hands, voice trembling but loud. "Listen, everyone, it's true, Seraphina and I were engaged. But things didn't work out. Claire and we just happened to fall in love. We didn't plan this." I snapped my head toward him, the rage I had buried for weeks finally bubbling free. "Didn't plan this? Tell me, Thomas, when you promised me forever, when you picked out this necklace with my name engraved on it, was that before or after you crawled into bed with my sister?" Gasps exploded around the church. Someone muttered, "Unbelievable." Another said, "Disgusting." Claire shrieked, stomping her heel so hard the sound echoed like a gunshot. "Shut up, Seraphina. You don't get to ruin my wedding. You always hated that I was better than you, prettier, smarter, loved more. You can't stand that Thomas chose me over you." Her words dripped venom, but instead of making me feel small, they gave me power. Because the way people recoiled from her, friends, relatives, even Thomas's own groomsmen, it proved she had finally revealed her true face. I smiled, calm and sharp. "Chose you? Claire, he didn't choose you. He settled for you. And you're too blinded by your own ego to see it." Thomas flinched. His hand twitched at his side. Everyone saw it. Claire whipped her head toward him. "What is she talking about?" Silence stretched, unbearable, before I delivered the final blow. "Tell her, Thomas. Tell her what you told me when I caught you too. Tell her that she was just a mistake, that you still loved me." The church erupted into chaos. Claire's bouquet hit the ground again, her nails digging into Thomas's arm as she shrieked, "Is it true? You said you loved me." Thomas stuttered, face drenched in sweat, I didn't mean it like that." But it was too late. The guests weren't even trying to hide their disgust anymore. Parents shielded their children's ears. One of Claire's bridesmaids dropped out of line, whispering harshly, "I can't be part of this." Claire let out a scream that didn't sound human. She shoved Thomas in the chest so hard he stumbled backward into the altar, candles toppling dangerously close to the edge. Her veil ripped as she clawed at it, tearing it from her head. "You ruined me," she shrieked at him. "You said she didn't matter. You said you wanted me." Thomas tried to grab her wrists, whispering frantically, but Claire slapped him across the face with a crack so loud it silenced the room again. Her eyes, wild and filled with tears, snapped back to me. "This is your fault. You couldn't just disappear, could you? You had to come back and destroy everything." I held my ground, my voice steady. "No, Claire. I didn't destroy this. You did. With your lies. With your greed. With your betrayal. I just gave the truth a microphone." For a long, painful moment, all she could do was stand there, her chest heaving, mascara running in black rivers down her face. And then, with a guttural scream, she tore off her veil and stormed out of the church, shoving through the crowd like a hurricane, slamming the doors behind her so hard the stained glass rattled. Thomas tried to run after her, but no one moved to help him. His groomsmen stepped aside. Even the priest wouldn't look at him. I turned to the crowd, to the guests who had witnessed it all. Their eyes weren't on Claire anymore. They weren't on Thomas. They were on me. And for the first time in weeks, I felt tall. Whole. Powerful. I smoothed the skirt of my white dress, lifted my chin, and said, "Now that's what true love looks like, betrayal exposed, and justice served." And with that, I walked out. My heels echoed through the church, not with shame, but with victory.